Hello?
Hey,
Hey, girl.
what are you doing?
Nothing on Instagram.
Are you Insta stalking?
I'm gramming, bitch.
Ah, trademark that.
Yeah, I'm over here on the shade room reading all the Wendy Williams gossip.
Oh no. Tell me.
Yeah, dude. Poor Wendy, dude. She's going through a lot right now from what I've been reading.
Tell
Her
us.
man had another baby with somebody else. She's back on drugs. No, I'm just playing. I don't know if she's back on drugs, but I know she used to be back on drugs. She was open about it on her show.
Mhm.
That she used to be back on drugs in the 80s and she's been sober for all these years, but now she's living in a sober house. So I'm assuming she's like battling maybe like an itch for drugs, or maybe she got back on drugs and she's battling that. I don't know the details, but yeah, and like her man having a baby with somebody else, like 50-year-old ass man having a kid with someone else, that must break her heart. And especially, dude, because in her show, one time she mentioned how, well, my cousin told me this because she's a huge Wendy fan. Um, and she's listening, so I better give her the credit. Um, she went through a lot of miscarriages before their son Kevin, and I think one of her miscarriages was like at 5 months. So I know she must be going through a lot right now, and it's, I'm over here like getting in the juicy gossip, but at the end of it all, like, we all go through some crazy shit in our life, and I don't know, dude. It just must really suck for her. I guess because I'm sort of a fan. I'm just like, damn, like that sucks. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And then any issue, we all face challenges, and those challenges can make us or break us.
Amen.
And I just, yeah, we often think like celebrities, oh man, like that sucks, like they have to go through this in front of the whole world, you know, watching. I mean, literally she's on the news.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, are we putting her stuff in the news? But then at the same time, it does kind of start conversations that are important. And there's a lot of shame with miscarriages, right? Like women go through a lot of women and men, they go through a lot of emotions. That's I can't imagine. That's awful. And
Yeah.
then um, going through addictions in front of the whole world, and then infidelity. There's just a lot of stuff that is super relatable to us, and I think it's cool how I think it's important to stay focused on discussing the having good conversations about the stuff that we see in the media in a productive way, in a constructive way, in a compassionate way,
Yeah.
rather than just spreading rumors.
Yeah. Rather than just gossiping.
Yeah, like rather than
And
just,
I made this decision a while back, and I don't know if I mentioned it to you or my sister or my cousin. Y'all are my go-to. So I mentioned a while back. I no longer, because I'm guilty. I'll gossip. So I really don't want to gossip anymore. I mean, I want, if there's something juicy going on, whether it's in the media, whether it's in my family, whether it's somebody that I know, like, I mean, yeah, call me, let's talk about it, but what are we getting out of this conversation that's going to be beneficial? What are we learning from these people's mistakes or falls or wins or whatever it is that we're talking about, right? Not just gossip, because that's such a negative, um it's such, what word am I looking, it's just such a negative point to sit here and gossip versus, yeah, let's talk about it, girl, like this happened to her and that happened to her, but hey, like, let's make the conversation just beneficial towards us versus, and I don't want to have the gossip conversation again. Like, I'm not going to sit here and constantly talk and bash on someone, like, I don't want to be that person, and like it's not okay that way.
yeah. And I think One of the things that we can definitely see with her is she's going through a lot of challenges right now. We all can relate to that. And it's a good place to when you're hearing this story, for me, I want to reflect, how do I handle my challenges? Right?
Yeah.
Do I, if I'm facing something, what do I do? Do I call someone? Do I let it digest for a little bit, process it, and then reach out to someone if I still feel uneasy, or just, oh no, I know I better not call and I better not just be impulsive and make a move that might be a bad one, or have like major consequences that I could have avoided by just maybe calling someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously she's going through things that are very relatable and happen to many, many people. Having a miscarriage, infidelity, uh, those are very challenging subjects, or situations. And the way she's able to cope or deal with those things is through drugs. And I think a lot of people, alcohol is obviously a type of addiction. And it's an outlet that I think a lot of people use to kind of numb the pain or forget about it, or feel like, you know what, I'm surviving right now because of this drug or this addiction. But for me, it's just like, damn, like if I had that addiction and I was going through a hard place, like say she was sober, right? And all these challenges are hitting her, that must be really hard to battle that, right? Like Demi Lovato was obviously sober for how long, and then she relapsed, and thank God she's okay. Like this is for me like a good takeaway from talking about her situation, is really just, how do you handle things in a time of hardship? Do I have a good foundation for that, or do I need to do some adjusting, or do I do a good job of, like, say I have a good foundation, and then someone, say you call me, am I doing my job? Because you had mentioned like listening. We talk about active listening as a skill that we're trying to develop, and man, listening is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I think on that, it's I guess to take it back just a little bit, what I like to do, yeah, when I face a low point or a challenge in my life, which low points are usually either sad or anger, I like to, and it's taken me a long time, and it doesn't happen every time, but for the most part it does. I try to sit on it. I even get in my car, whether I'm driving or whatever I'm doing at home. I don't play music. I don't listen to anything. Like I literally just get lost in my own thoughts, and just try to see as much as I can from every perspective regarding the situation that I'm facing. Whenever I let go of that anger and of that sadness, that's when I decide to call somebody, whether it's you or my sister or my cousin. Like those are the three people that I go to. Um, and then yeah, when I do call, and this goes and when I get these calls too, because that's talking, being able to talk is the learning process, and being able to listen, I believe, is another learning process. So as a listener, I think it's very important for us to really listen. We're really quick to be like, girl, block them, like whatever, just we're really quick to think and say what we would do. But would we really do that? I don't know. Most of us probably wouldn't, but we're really quick to say for others to, for others to do it. So all I'm trying to say is when someone calls you and tells you their bullshit, like just listen. And as much as, it bothers you and it hurts you to hear your girl going through some shit and you want to say some shit back, like just wait. Just wait until your girl is off that wave, and until she can, and until you'll know when she's ready to hear what you have to say. If that's your friend, you will know when she's ready, and and then you just have the conversation, like, and you can politely ask, like, okay, so do you want to know what I think about what we talked about the other day? And she can respectfully say yes or respectfully say no, not yet, I think I got it, or maybe later, or because listening is just so important. And just don't jump in right away and try to say what they should do, because all they're really calling you for is for you to listen. And yeah, it's a skill, and I know we're all still working on it.
Yeah, and I hope, yeah, I hope it's not something that I have down, um, and I am aware of it, and maybe just we're just bringing it to some listeners' attention, like maybe people never thought about listening being a skill, like, because when someone's talking to us about an issue, especially someone we care about, we already are thinking like what we're going to respond back to them,
Yeah, so then
and
if you're already thinking, oh, have you been listening? Think about it.
right. So one of the quotes I think is really cool is, listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, others over self. That's Dean Jackson. And then the other one is, the word silent contains the same letters as the word, I'm sorry, the word listen contains the same letters as the word silent, which I think is so cool and so powerful. So definitely listening is often the only thing that is needed to help people. So being there for your people is super important. Um, I guess to kind of wrap this up, I definitely challenge us to reflect on how we treat people during their difficult, uh, like their challenges, right? And I just think it's so important, because when we judge and criticize someone going through a challenge, it's yeah, it's kind of like, well, that could be us tomorrow. Like, you never know when that person is going to be you. And definitely treating others how you want to be treated is key here.
Yeah.
Um, right?
Yeah, 100% agree.
So, yeah, and then I guess the other takeaway is just I definitely like have been reflecting on, like, what are my strategies for coping with my challenges? Like, are they healthy? Are they unhealthy? And yeah, so definitely, like, reflecting on that through Wendy Williams is kind of like, it sounds silly, but it's like, it's so cool again to like talk about things in a productive way. The things that are going on in the media, having conversations about them in a productive way is so important. So amen to
God
listening.
bless Wendy.
Good luck to her for sure.
Good luck to you, girlfriend.
And to anybody going through any difficult challenges, you're going to get through it. We all do. We always do.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think the other thing that you wanted to tell me, or no, not tell me, but kind of talk about.
Oh, yeah. I had texted you. I had something to tell you. Remember you had told me about financial aid, and like how it doesn't, like, it stops paying at a certain amount of time or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. So you had told me that, and then we couldn't really figure out if that was a Cali thing or a Texas thing. So, but we kind of thought it was a both, because it's a federal fund. So, anyways, we just never touched on it again or whatever. But the other day I was in class, and my classmate, same thing. She was like, "Yeah, it's registration, it's opening up." So, and she starts telling me that financial aid is no longer going to cover. So I'm like, why? Like, what's going on? And she told me the same thing. She was like, I already met my limit. And I was like, what? Like, she was like, yeah, they'll send you an email and they'll let you know when you're about to reach your limit. Excuse me. And so I took the time to go to financial aid after class and asked them, like, I had mentioned what you told me. I mentioned when she told me. So he explained to me that they pay 600%, and 600%, they basically pay by hours that you take. So 50% equals 12 hours. So you have 600%.
12 hours or 12 units?
12 hours, because one class is usually 3 hours. It counts for three hours. So like if you go to school full time, you're taking 12 hours. That's considered full time.
No, it's 12 units. Anyway.
Well, I
Yep.
mean, I've always known them as hours. Like, so if you take 12 units, how many classes are you taking?
It depends, because some classes are 5 units. Like I think statistics is 4 units. Wait, some classes, I'm sorry, some class, I don't know exactly which ones, but I know some are 5 units, or some are 2 units, even like some are 1 units, like some electives like PE and stuff like that. It's only 1 unit. So I think it's units.
Okay,
Anyway,
well, usually over here yeah, I've always heard you say units, but over here they usually say hours. So like most classes are 3 hours. Some are 4 or 6 if they include a lab or something like that.
okay.
But they basically pay by the hours. So if you're in Texas, that's how, and you recognize the hours thing or whatever. Basically, 12 hours equals 50%. So you have 600%. So, you know, you have that much to pay off. I had made the math, but I lost a little paper. But um, yeah. So it's I have exactly. I asked how much I have left, and I have exactly as much as I need to graduate. So I really need to stay on the ball. So my advice would be to just stay on the ball when it comes to school, because I was earlier on in college, I did slack off a lot. I would skip class or drop class or whatever the case was, or I took classes to like, bump up my GPA for making up for next last semester, whatever I was doing to slack off. Um, just be conscious of all that, because if you do count on financial aid to pay for school, then you're wasting the money that they're giving you, and it's going to stop at a certain point. And it makes sense, right? Because like it doesn't, if you say it out loud, it's like they're not going to pay for school forever, but you think, oh, it's a federal fund, like I can apply for it and the government will give it to me. But like it doesn't happen that way with financial aid. Like once you reach that 600%, like that's it, you're done. Moving forward, you got to pay for your own school, or you got to apply for scholarships or anything like that, which um I also encourage everyone to do. Like, I've never applied for scholarships, but I'm going to this semester. Even though financial aid is still going to cover me, I want to do scholarships just to have the extra money. And like, I mean, they're there for you to apply and use the money towards school, or to help you in your personal life to be able to continue in school. It's money that's there for you to take the time and apply for it. So I want to do that. And yeah, so I thought it was really interesting about that financial aid situation, because I didn't know about it. At one point, you didn't know about it. My classmate wasn't aware of it. So I'm assuming that there's a lot of people out there that are not aware of it. So just wanted to throw that out there.
PSA. You wanted a PSA it? Public service.
PSA it.
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely sad because I'm on the other end of the spectrum where like I think I have like 1 semester or maybe 2. But yeah, I'm definitely like, damn, I wish I would have known. So I think that's why we feel like super compelled to like share the information, because it's
Excuse
maybe
me.
yeah, like maybe there are definitely going to be people who are like, yeah, I knew that, but like I'm sure there's at least one person who didn't know that. And that's like, that's good enough for me, because I wish someone
Yeah,
would have
it's
told
good
me.
to know. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? We've been in school for so long, well, relatively long, right? And I've never applied for a scholarship ever. And I think that's wild. Like, I'm aware that a lot of people don't apply for scholarships. I heard this story in my class one time, and they were basically trying to encourage us to like, that's when that my professor told me, like, don't use your financial aid at community college, because you're going to get more money, more value, like literally more value for the unit at a university. So I was like, wait, what does that mean? Isn't it all the same? And it's not. You get more at a university. So I'm like, dude, I should totally. So at that point, I found out how much I had, and I only have a very little amount. So, but he was telling me that there was this scholarship for women. I think it was Latino women, and the person who ended up getting it was a male Asian American person, because
What?
nobody applied for it. So they gave it to him because, so the moral of the story was like, don't apply for everything. Apply for everything because you never know, because the competition really isn't there. People aren't doing it.
Yeah, because there's all these essays and stuff that we don't take the time to write, but we should.
Yeah, dude, I was like, that's bullshit.
For
You know,
real.
I still haven't applied for one, and that's why I love like talking to you and obviously recording our phone calls, because it just holds us accountable. Like, that's crazy. I have not applied for a scholarship and you haven't either, and like we are going to, now moving forward. So
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to do that for sure. So,
so I found this website. It's called myscholarly.com, and it's basically a website that makes it easier for you to search for scholarships.
can
And
you go ahead and spell that out for like the listeners?
yeah, definitely. It's I'm sorry. I don't know how to spell. Mascali.
MyScally.com, bitch. Go ahead and apply.
Okay. MYSCHOLL. Oh my, yeah. Y.com.
Bitch, go ahead and repeat yourself.
Oh my God. I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. MYSCHOLLY.com.
For real.
Yeah, it's myscholarly.com. MYSCHOLLY.com.
Cool.
And it's a place that you can find scholarships and makes it easier for you. But I also saw that you can just Google, like, for example, that Asian American, right? Male. It's like scholarships, like in the Google search engine, scholarships for male Asian Americans, and stuff will pop up. So like I looked up scholarships for Latina women or Hispanic women, and yeah, dude, it showed up. So I think that's really cool. So definitely encourage us to look into those and apply for a scholarship.
Yeah, so 100% agree with you. I am going to try to make an effort on applying for a scholarship this semester, because really the only person I'm helping by doing so is myself. So I,
Dang, amen.
I should really do that.
I know, we're so stupid.
For real.
Well, we're done being stupid. This is our year, 2019.
What?
All right, dude. Well, I love our conversations per usual. You just make me a better person, and I love you so much. And thank you for having these conversations with me.
For
And
real. I was thinking the same thing. Like, this has been a really good conversation. Like, this conversation is the reason we decided to start recording our phone calls in the first place.
I know.
How exciting. Episode 3.
OMG.
Yeah.
And tons more to come.
I know, a lot more, I hope.
Yes, yes. But we'll talk soon.
Yep, of course, always.
All right. I love you mucho. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.